Institut Integriert Studieren of Johannes Kepler University of Linz to you. Linz is the capital of Austria. It's the third largest city in Austria with about 200,000 inhabitants. It was founded by the Romans, so it's long ago, in 799, that it was first mentioned with the name Lenzia. Linz is an industrial, rather modern city. It has a vibrant modern scene of music, art, design and architecture. And perhaps you already heard about the Ars Electronica festival that is every year from in the summer month, let us say in the summer month. And in Linz we have 4 universities and colleges for the people that want to enter higher education. So next slide. I'm not really used to it, but it will work. The University of Linz is named after the mathematician and astronomer Johannes Kepler. Johannes Kepler lived and worked in Linz. You can also visit the house where he lived and worked. It's located close to the main square of Linz. It's a rather young university, the Kepler University. It was founded in 1966 as an academy of social and economic sciences. In those days we had 600 students, not too big. We are far, far bigger those days. Then in 1969 the Faculty of Technical and Natural Sciences was founded and implemented into this young university that was an academy. And only in 1975 there was the recognition of as university, because there's a difference in Austria if you are an academy or a university, with the Faculty of Law established in 1975, sorry. On the pictures below you can see the University Center, where is located the representation rooms and the students' restaurant. This is the oldest part. This is the so-called castle, where the rector and the administration of the university is located. And here you see the so-called Hörsaaltrakt. This is the lecture hall building. This was the first building built as campus of Linz University. In the meantime, you will see it later on, University of Linz spread out to the whole area here and stayed a campus university, what was in those days really a novel in Austria. JKU today has a unique campus setting in the north of Linz. We have an own exit on the motorway leading through Linz. We have 25,000 students, including the distance learners, and 2,500 faculty and staff members. Those faculty and staff members are working in 118 different institutes at 3 faculties. It's the Faculty of Economy and Social Sciences, it's the Faculty for Natural and Technical Sciences, and it's still the Faculty of Law. In Linz we have 59 bachelor or master and doctoral programs, and there is a really strong embedding. As the university is rather young, it reached out and took all the concepts that were available in the American space, in the American area, to bring in the business, to implement them at university, to have a strong cohesion here, and external partnerships are as well as working on-site implemented for Linz University, for our university. The Institut Integriert Studieren was founded in 1991 as the first try to involve people with disabilities into studying, into higher education. It was called Endeavor Computer Science for the Blind. It was meant for blind people that were able and that wanted to study computer science. Then later on, because it was highly successful, it was installed as a department located at the Institute for Computer Science, and it had again the name Computer Science for the Blind. This led to the situation that all the people that wanted to study with a disability were blind and they thought they need to come to Linz and they thought they need to study computer science. And this was a very inconvenient situation because not every person is apted or willing to study computer science, and studying something just because there is the offer to do so is not the best way for a decision for a study course. Therefore, we opened up this institute to an Austria-wide institute, inter-university institute for information system that supported print-disabled students, print-disabled people. And the terminus technicus, print-disabled, just means these are all people put together in a group that are not able to deal with printed materials. This is a mobility disability, this is blindness or a vision impairment, but also you can understand in this that you cannot read in the necessary amount to act equally with printed materials. 2002 there was a change in law. The Austrian universities were own institutions, not bound to the ministry any longer, and so it was not possible to make longer this structure of an inter-university institute. And the whole inter-university institute split up in different institutes or centers for integrated studying or integriert studieren that are located today at 5 bigger Austrian universities. It's the University of Linz, the Technical University of Vienna, the University of Vienna, the University of Graz, and the University of Klagenfurt. But we are strongly acting together, we are interacting, we are working together, we are coordinating our activities and plans, but it's not under the umbrella of the Inter-University Institute anymore. The Institute Integriert Studieren consists of 12 people. 5 of them are paid by universities, 7 come from research funds. So we are strongly dependent on EU funding, on EU research projects, and these 12 people. 2 of them are the head and the deputy head. It's Klaus Niesenberger and Professor Roland Wagner. We have 2 people working for administration of the institute, 7 researchers that can only be employed as long as there are research funds, and we have 1 vocational trainee that is educated in our institution. It's a person in a wheelchair, and she really likes to work with us, and we try to not only to train her to be apted to enter the labor market, but we also try to give her technology, assistive technology, counseling and support in terms of getting better employable. Here you can see the Linz University campus that got really big. This is the old part. This is what you saw on the picture, on the first picture. This was an institute building with small lecture halls, with small seminar rooms, and 1 huge room, and the institute on the floor above these lecture halls. This was far too small. Then they built this building here with huge lecture halls in behind. Here you see the library, the university library. It was an extra building. On this hand side you have the university center with the representation rooms. Here is the castle. Not on this map because Google did not check the new situation in Linz. On this side here we have 3 huge new buildings. The first one is for mechatronics. It's a mixture of computer science and mechanics. And we have 2 other buildings here, so that all the institutions that were spread around Linz are now on this campus together. Here's the building for law. It's the Juridicum. Here we have the building for physics. This is the building for management and economy and business sciences. Different other buildings, and this is where our office is now located, because we moved from the library over here to this building here. So we got a nice new complex, and for the first time in 20 years we have altogether our offices on the same floor next to other institutions also working for people with disabilities or for the students. Here, this building is the Technical Natural Science Tower, the so-called tower. It's a huge building, 10 stories, 10 floors high, and here is concentrated everything that has to do with natural and technical sciences. Okay, in the next years we will get another building on this side that will be also that high like the tower, and it will be the twin of the tower, because Linz University is growing faster than people can build institutions and build up all this infrastructure. Institut Integriert Studieren concentrates on three main pillars. It's the teaching, it's the research, and it's the service. Teaching, we have the university teaching commitments. Those are courses open for all studies. They focus on e-accessibility and design for all. Most of our students come out of computer science, but as I said before, the courses are open for all students, for all study courses that are meant for students studying in Linz. The results we gain from research activities enrich the teaching. It's a rather interactive, flexible process, and it's quite special as we have students in practical working courses that are working with up-to-date modern assistive technologies, that are able to test all this, to use it, and to implement it in their studies. And we do this because we want them to get to know and to get involved in e-accessibility and design for all from the very first day of their study until they finish their studies, also to be some kind of key player that brings out the thought of e-accessibility and design for all to every working place they will have in their future. We also have external teaching commitments. Just some examples. We are working in teachers' education. These are inclusive education teachers and special teachers in the area of deaf, hard of hearing, blind and partially sighted. But also do we cooperate with institutions educating school counselors and disability counselors. So we show them the technical part, how computers and assistive technologies can empower people with disabilities in learning already in higher education or secondary education and later on at university. Also, what we have, this was derived from two university courses we had, postgraduate courses. This is the Austrian Accessibility Academy, where we offer and provide companies, firms, whoever is interested, with courses on accessibility, on how to make accessible web pages and web design over easy to read and easy to read information materials from folder to manual. And these courses are all in the framework of the Austrian Accessibility Academy, and we are quite proud of it because every year we have a lot of courses within this framework. Good. Then research. We were active in more than 60 EU or international research projects, of course also in Austrian national research projects. We were there as partner and coordinator. The main topics are the alternative concepts of knowledge representation, the principles of the multimodal man-machine interaction, electronic libraries, electronic publishing, accessible web design, software development, access to graphical user interfaces, design for all in terms of hard and software, the IT and AT aspects of inclusive teaching, then especially important speech recognition applications for people with disabilities. And our students are able to try out, to take our efforts and our activities and our results and to use them, because speech recognition applications for people with disability is highly important if someone is not able to type as fast as someone talks in front of them, as the teacher talks. So they just make some kind of record of the whole lecture, and at home they put this recording into the system, and this can be afterwards enriched by captions or whatever, and be re-listened to. And this is how the research influences the teaching as well as our service for people with disabilities, for students with disabilities. We also do research in ambient assisted living and in ambient assistive technologies. The service is first of all the service for students with disabilities, but not only. We also provide service for university concerning disabilities, so the teaching and administration staff in terms of support, counseling, whenever a new building is planned at Linz University, they at least ask us. They do often not follow what we say or what we counsel, but they at least ask, so is this accessible? What would we need? Do we need some kind of guiding line for blind people? Or what is all the things about this induction loops for people with hearing disability? So they ask us, and we also provided the electronic lecture system with some kind of accessible template. It's just some kind of technically accessible materials where the lecturers can just put in their contents to guarantee that there is some kind of basic accessibility in all what is made at Linz University. The main point is the service for students with disabilities. In the moment we have 60 students with a formal stated disability here at our campus. In the meantime, we support all kinds of disabilities and chronic illnesses, and we support them with administration, with study materials, and with the exam conditions, because students with a formal stated disability are in Austria entitled to get adapted exam conditions. So an oral exam instead of a written exam, or they can use a laptop instead of writing with their hands, and so on. They get more time for their exams. And this is all together put in this service for students with disabilities and the service for the university concerning disability. Here you can see some activities we do that is not related to studying, but we work wall climbing with them. This is one of this picture here shows where we cook together with the students. They really like it. This was the wall climbing, and here we had something like an assessment center training with our students, because technology alone does not empower to enter the labor market or to even study. They need something like a social education to be able to make most out of their abilities and interests. And therefore, this is the scheme of our service provision. We try to get the people as soon as possible. Those two parts of this pyramid, it's the orientation and sensitization and the check of interests, competencies and abilities. This already starts before they formally enter university. It starts in the last 1 or 2 years at school, at secondary education, because they really need to know what they want, what they need. They need to know what assistive technology supports me in the most effective way. They also get mobility training, not from us, but we have our partners that provide this mobility training to get on site from room to room. They need to know where is this lecture hall, how many times do I need from get here to there, where is the next doctor, where is the student hall, where is a place where I can buy something, and so on. During their studies, this is the part from here to here, we try to give them a social skills training. You saw the assessment center training, you saw the cooking, you saw the wall climbing. Those are all measures to bring them in touch with other students, to build up a network of peers, and to help them to not to study alone, but to be together with a group that is most supportive to them. Of course, we provide them with accessible study materials in terms of digital materials that are adapted to their needs, and of course also the exam conditions I mentioned already before. During the studies, we also try to involve them in projects, in internships, because as we faced it, the only way for an effective inclusion into the labor market after a study for people with disabilities is to make this experience before and also show the firms and the companies what people with disability are able to do and what they are not able to do. Because the best advertisement for engaging people with disabilities in an own firm or company is to see how they can solve tasks, how they can enrich daily life, and in terms of diversity management, how they can open up new visions, new views and thoughts in the firm, in the institution. Afterwards, we are cooperating with firms for the students. We are working what would you need in terms of computer science? What would you need in terms of law, of students getting ready with their law studies? What are they supposed to do? We have a mentoring program for disabled peers, where we try to get partners from economy and from funding institutions, put them together on a table, and try to find mentors and mentees for every student that is interested in this service. This is also to make them able for the first labor market. This is strongly in cohesion with the job skills training, assessment center training, whatever. Okay, this was in not so short words what we do for students with disabilities here at Linz University. If you're interested, we have more information following the link www.jku.at/IIS Institute Integriert Studieren. You can also get in touch by email integriert-studieren@jku.at. And one thing, ICCHP 2012 will be from July 9 to 13 this summer at University of Linz. In the moment we are all strongly involved in organizing and coordinating this conference already. Again, we will have 700 researchers from 60 countries, all from the globe, all from the world. We will have 250 lectures, and we will have an ETNA workshop. So I'm really happy to be able to welcome you soon, face to face, here at University of Linz. More information on ICCHP can be found following www.icchp.org. Okay, if you have questions, I'm open to answer them. I hope I was clear, concise, short, and understandable enough. Yeah, please get in touch, and here are again for you the contact details in case you are interested in getting in touch. Thank you for your interest.
Thank you, Andrea. Finally, we managed to hear you very well, so great.
Thank you.
Yes, and now I would like to hear if there is somebody who has a question for you. Renzo? Okay. Renzo, now you can speak.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. You mentioned in one slide the research project, alternative concepts of knowledge representation. Did you mean something about alternative way to represent pictures for people with vision impairment, or something more?
Oops, oh my God. It is what is meant in the first part of this. Oh, do you also have these strange noises? Okay. It is meant the semantic enrichment of textual content. Like in the internet, you can provide information. You can provide information via text. You can provide information via symbols or via pictures. You can have a video. You can have some kind of sign language video for people that prefer this mean of getting information. And this was meant by alternative representation of knowledge.
Okay, are there any other questions? In the meanwhile, I remind you to please switch off your microphone if you're not speaking, because otherwise there is a very strong background noise. So if there is no question,
Sabrina?
yes?
If I just may interrupt, there is a question from David Colvin in the chat because he says the microphone is not working, and how many students do you
Okay, sorry.
support? No, no, no,
Yes,
no.
please repeat
I just fell over it. We support in the moment we support 60 students with a disability in Linz, at Linz University, all over Austria. I think there must be something about 150. Is this okay for you, David? Okay, I think this was it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for not noticing the message there. Okay, so in a moment I will give the floor to Disability Now. Unfortunately today Anna Evangelino can't be here because she's in hospital, and so there is her colleague Caterina who's speaking on behalf of Anna. Okay, so the presentation is ready. I give the floor to Caterina from Disability Now.
Hello to everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. As Sabrina said, I'm Katerina from Disability Now in Athens, and I will try to replace Anna today as she was not in position to join this webinar. I will start with the presentation of Disability Now, and you can ask any relevant question afterwards. Disability Now is a non-profit supportive organization, an NGO, mostly managed by people with mobility disabilities, established in 1993, but the website disabled.gr already exists since 1985, when the founder of Disability Now, Mr. Nikos Bulgaropoulos, had a car accident back then that caused him a spinal cord injury. So it was more of personal will to collect available information on disability and mainly spinal cord injuries, that he could learn how to deal with his own disability, and it just ended up being this huge database shared with every web user. The aim of Disability Now is to produce and distribute all available disability-related information in respect of fundamental rights to independence and social participation. It constitutes a major source of peer support and counseling, empowering people with disabilities with the appropriate knowledge and skills to self-advocate and exercise their civil rights, to manage their needs, and to establish their own terms and choices in their lives. Peer supports, information and advice are provided continuously throughout the telephone, email, online disability community and forum, newsletters, and the print magazine on a professional and voluntary basis. Since 1993, Disability Now has been publishing a bi-monthly magazine of 132 pages in Greek that supports an emancipatory, achieving, and elegant view of disability. The magazine publishes all disability-related law, social policy, and entitlements in Greece, as well as national and international disability news, articles, research, and personal stories, altogether pertaining to themes such as education, employment, and entrepreneurship, social security, accessibility, health and rehabilitation, assistive technologies, independent living. The magazine is distributed free of charge to people with disabilities and associations of people with disabilities. It has also attracted the interest. It has also attracted the interests of other stakeholders in the field of disability, such as doctors, physiotherapists, nurses, special education teachers, and assistive technology providers. The number of subscribers has now reached 50,000 in Greece, while it is steadily increasing. The operation of Disable.gr, which is the largest disability-related portal that concerns people with disability, and it has more than 150,000 visits per month. Since 2006, Disability Now organizes Autonomia Expo, taking place in Athens and lasting 3 days. I will give you more information on Autonomia in one of the next slides. There is also the electronic Disability Now newsletter, which is being distributed through email once, twice, or more times per week to 50,000 electronic subscribers, and the disability community and its forum operation, through which people with disability, their relatives, or professionals in the field of disability exchange opinions for their common problem and share information. The disability news portal, news.disable.gr, which publishes every day all the latest news concerning the disabilities and collects and distributes all the disability-related news and stories in Greek language, and it equally features English news content. Disability Now also offers specialized peer counseling services to people with mobility disabilities. Finally, Disability Now has been involved since 1993 in partnership in many national and European projects critical for the social inclusion of people with disabilities. Such projects have mainly addressed issues of accessibility, education and lifelong learning, e-government and e-inclusion, violence and discrimination, independent living, personal care assistance. The Disability Now printed magazine is published every 2 months and is distributed free of charge to 15,000 subscribers from all over Greece. It is mainly focused on issues related to mobility disability, and it is also available online in various accessible formats. The magazine is financially supported by advertisements of disability-related companies, for example, enterprises with rehabilitation equipment and assistive technology aids. Disability GR is the largest disability-related portal in Greek language that concerns people with disability, and it has been more than 170,000 visits per month. It is totally accessible for the blind and for people with severe mobility and multiple disabilities. Within this portal, there is the largest free-of-charge digital library in Greece, it equally features English content and includes thousands of articles on mobility disability, special education, independent living, and rehabilitation. There is also a separate news section under news.disabled.gr, which is a public searchable database of news coming from all the daily press regarding disability-related news on legislation, disability allowances, assistive technologies, disability products, companies, consumerism, employment, social security, etc. Disability Now is also the organizer of Autonomia Expo, as I mentioned above, which is a 3-day exhibition of products and services centered on disability, adapted to computers and assistive technologies, rehabilitation, special education, and independent living. Autonomia Expo takes place in Athens, covering 4,500 square meters. Autonomia Expo constitutes the largest exhibition of products and services, as well as seminars and cultural events centered on disability, health, rehabilitation, education, technology, and independent living in Greece, also attracting participation from European providers. The success of Autonomia Expo lies in remaining closest and responding to consumer needs and demands which exceed stereotypes of disability, and in bringing together people with a common view of an active and achieving disability. An electronic diary of the event is updated throughout the year at autonomiaexpo.org. The next exhibition will be organized in May 2013. Disability Now is a member of the following European Disability Networks: Academic Network of European Disability Experts, European Network on Independent Living, European Network for Accessible Tourism, Social Employers Network, and European Design for All e-Accessible Network. Now something about the crisis in Greece. As you all know by now, the economic crisis in Greece is severe, with a bulk of austerity measures and an unprecedented economic post-war depression taking place. It is without a doubt a crisis that affects all Greek citizens, but more so people with higher support needs and increased cost of living due to disability, groups which had already been socially and economically disadvantaged. The impact of the economic crisis on disabled people is evident in reductions in disability pension and provisions in kind, such as medical supplies, technical aids, community rehabilitation services. There are also significant delays in monthly payments of disability benefits and disability provisions. I will just mention a few indicatory measures. The public sector security bodies postponed until February 2011 any payments for disability provisions in kind made after the 3rd August of 2010. In July 2010, the main private sector security body, ECA, announces that it excludes from the list of provisions disability equipment. Among these, I have to mention their caution for preventing pressure sores, which cost €500 and is of absolute essence for wheelchair users. People with disabilities start experiencing the reductions in the hours approved for community rehabilitation, such as physiotherapy, speech therapy, and so on, and this became crystallized in a new regulation for provisions in November 2011. In May 2011, there was an horizontal 50% cut across cost ceilings for rehabilitation aids and equipment. In September, the organization published the Single Regulation of Health Provisions, which replicates the horizontal 50% cut on assistive equipment, also introducing a 30% to 50% cuts on medical supplies and specialized health and community-based services. In August 2011, an urgent tax toll for the financial year 2011 was introduced at 2% on income. People with disabilities are directly affected since eligible for exclusion from this tax are people who are completely blind or people with more than 80% physical disability. Consider, for instance, that people with paraplegia, multiple sclerosis, or other serious physical disabilities do not usually obtain more than 80% disability. Urgent property tax is introduced up to 10 euros per square meter to be paid annually. Similarly, only people who are completely blind or people with more than 80% disability will pay the reduced rate at 0.5 euros per square meter. Thank you for your attention. For more information, you can visit disabled.gr or email us at admin@disabled.gr.
Thank you, Katerina. And we send best wishes to Anna for a speedy recovery. So now, again, I would like to hear if you have any question for Katerina and Disability Now. Renzo, once again. Okay. Renzo.
Katarina, I was curious to know something more about the peer counseling, the peer support activity that Disability Now is doing. Can you tell something more? What kind of people ask for this peer support, and in which way do you give this service?
Okay, we get in contact via telephone with people who need to find a job, who have disability or want to work as assistants for people with disability, and we also give the opportunity to come to our office and practice with assistive technology computers, and to have to get in contact with these technologies. This is what we mean with peer counseling.
Renzo, do you want to ask another question?
I know I was just saying thank you, but I made a mistake.
Okay, fine. Any other participants wishing to ask a question to Katerina? Okay, then. So, thank you to everybody for your participation, and if there is no other question, I would close the meeting. Thank you to Andrea and Caterina, and I remind you that the next webinar will be in April on the second Wednesday. But of course I will remind you by mail, as you well know. So thank you again, and hear from you very soon.